Hi fam, and welcome to day 3 of my end of the year series where I am making videos that wraps up the year that has gone by, and also stuff that I'm kind of looking forward to in the upcoming year. So in this one we are going to be talking about my 2021 bookish resolutions, and I have 21. They are short ones though, and yeah, we're going to discuss them now. But before I begin, if you have any bookish resolutions yourself, then do comment down below and let me know. I would love to know what your resolutions are. And yeah, okay, cool. Let's begin. So I want to start off by saying that I don't like putting numbers in the beginning of the year. So like for example, my Goodreads goal for 2020 was 50 books because I like to put a small number and then like sort of achieve it and then keep increasing that number. So for example, this year I have reached 120 books. Hopefully I'm actually at 117, but I hope that I will have finished 120 by the end of the year. But I started off with 50, I increased to 65, 75, 85, 100 when I felt like I would be able to reach there, 110, and then 120. So I just keep increasing it just a little. 50 is a number that I know that I can do quite easily. So that's what I kept it at. But also I wanted to just be free to be able to choose whatever I wanted. I wanted to be able to choose to read like much larger books, and I didn't want to be bogged down at the end of the year and just like read whatever because they're like smaller books to kind of reach my goal, because I have done that in the past where I started reading like poetry books or something like that at the end of the year to just make sure that I reached my Goodreads goal or the number that I had put down. So I just don't like putting a number to it. This year as well, in 2021, I will be putting 50 as my goal and then keep increasing it, because I just felt really good about it this year, especially because like I didn't know that 2020 would be such a shit show. And then yeah, it just felt good to not have such a high number right from the start. And yeah, you never know what 2021 will be. Maybe it'll be better, maybe like aliens will invade, and like fuck knows, because like I have no faith in anything being great anymore. But anyway, let's start with number one. And number one is read more of what you feel like. And that is to be a mood reader. And I think that this is really important. And I feel like this should be part of everyone's goal, because it sounds really simple, but we live in society and we get peer pressure to sometimes read books because there's way too much hype about a certain book, or like everyone is reading it and you're like, oh my god, I want to read it as well, where it just might not be your thing. It might be like, oh, you know what, like I should be reading nonfiction, but instead I just want to read like a thriller which is just nonsensical. Like I might just want to do that, and I feel like I should listen to myself more and just read what I feel like instead of reading what I think others would want me to read, if that makes any sense to you. So yeah, that is my most important goal, which is why it's my number one. My number two is very connected to this previous one, and that is to read books that I think are only going to be 4 or 5 stars. I don't want to read books that I think are going to be lesser than that. I mean, there are way too many books that are there in this world that I want to read. Why choose to read books that I don't think are going to be great? And the third resolution also connects to the previous ones, and that is to get better at DNFing books, or do not finishing books. This is a term which we use where essentially you just stop reading the book if you don't like it. If you don't like it, stop. And I just haven't been able to get myself to do that. I find it very difficult to do so. I feel like I'm that sort of person who, like, once I start it, I need to finish it. So even if I'm not enjoying myself and I just feel like I need to start getting into the habit of just saying, you know what, this was not for me. I tried, but it's good. There could be two ways of going about it. One, which is I keep it down for now. I feel like, hey, this is a good book, but like it's not for me as of this moment. Or two, just straight up say, you know what, this book is not for me. Like I'm not going to enjoy this at any point of time, and let it go. So yeah, that is going to be a resolution. That is to be Elsa and just let it go. My number 4 resolution is going to make, I think, my bank account, feel really happy, and that is to not buy that many books. I have a lot of books around me, and I feel like I again get into the hype, think that like everyone is talking about a certain book and I should read that book too. But I've seen that this happens, that I buy a book and it just kind of lies on my shelf and I never end up reading it. Or like I know that I will read it, but I take some time to get to it, which is why I feel like I need to cut that down, make like a budget for myself. Also, something that I've been trying to do this year itself is to see that like just put, like once I say that like, oh, I want this book, I pause for 3 days, and after 3 days I still want to buy the book, then I buy the book. If not, then I buy it later. Number five is something that I have been doing in 2020, but I want to keep continuing doing that in 2021 and the years that follow. And that is to buy and support independent bookstores. In 2020, a lot of the bookstores went through a lot of financial troubles, and I want to do my best to support them. I've actually made an entire video where I talk about why you should buy from independent bookstores. So I will link that up and down for you to check out. But yeah, I want to continue doing that in 2021 as well. Number six is I need to read more from my shelves. I have so many books that are around me that I have bought for like decades. And as I've said, which correlates to I think point number four, which is that I just buy them and they just lie here, and I want to start reading more from the books that I have in my house, and yeah, that's it. I just need to read more from the books that I actually have. Number seven is to unhaul books if I don't want it. This, as a person who loves to buy books and collect books and keep books, and it's a little difficult for me to let go of books, but I feel like that is necessary. I just don't have space anymore, honestly. And also, I feel like maybe I need to just let them go and let it go to someone else who might want to read it more than I do. So this could be books that I have already finished reading, and like I don't think that I want to read them again, or books that I just lying in my house and I don't think that I'm going to get to in the next year, 2 years, or whatever. So I think a lot of unhauling is going to happen, and look forward to that, because number eight is reviewing each and every book that I read. I tried doing this in the beginning of the year, and I think I was successful till about like book number 30, and then it just went. So I just want to write a proper review for each and every book that I read and put it up, be it here or like on Instagram or wherever it is, so that people can find it and find out what I think about the book. Because I just I need to do it and I want to do it. Number nine is connected to number eight. Surprise, surprise. And that is to get better at reviewing books. And yeah, I feel like that sometimes it's not like my book reviews are bad. I don't think they're bad. But I think that sometimes that my book reviews are a lot about how I felt while reading the book, but not so much about what I thought of the writing, or what I thought of, like, I don't know, the prose or something like that, the themes, I don't know. So I think I want to get a little better at reviewing itself, and I would love your help with this. So if you think there are certain things that you definitely look out for in a book review, then please do let me know. That would be very helpful, because I'm really trying to improve myself as a book reviewer generally. Number 10 is track my books better. And by this, I mean that I want to track certain aspects of a book. And I basically, in 2020, started this thing called State of My Books 2020, where I put down each and every book that I read in an Excel sheet, and also put down things that like matter to me about, like, that I want to track, which is like, where is this book from? Like, where is the author from? What is the race of the author? Because I do want to read more Black authors. I want to read more Asian authors. I want to read more Indian authors. I want to read more translations, which you will like see in my next few resolutions. But yeah, I basically wanted to keep a better track of it. So to increase the sort of things that I look at, the categories that I look at, and just keep a better track of things is essentially what my number 10 resolution is. And that is all connected to the next few resolutions, which is something that I literally just spoke of right now. But is like, I'm going to call this my read more of section, because I want to read more of certain things. But I want to make sure that I am tracking this on a monthly or like a quarterly basis at least, because I feel like it doesn't make sense if I come to the end of the year and realize that, oh shit, you know what, Smriti, you didn't read too much of nonfiction this year. I feel like you should have read more, because like the year's gone by now. So I want to make sure that I track this on a month to month basis, and that's related to the previous one. But yeah, that's basically that. But in terms of my read more categories, this is what it is. The number 11, or like number one in this read more category, is read less. Actually, it's read less, but read less from the US and more diversely from around the world. I feel that when I saw how many books that I read in 2020 from the US, I was very shocked. I think it was like 40% or something like that was coming, or 45% was coming from the US, and I just need to read more diversity. There are so many great authors out there from various parts of the world. I just want to be able to do that. I did read a lot from Asia this year, but I do want to kind of diversify that. So yeah, so read less from the US and more from everywhere else. Number 12 is read more classics. I started this whole thing this year where I decided to read 30 classics before I turned 30. That didn't happen, but I think I read about 22, which isn't bad at all. And I had a great time. I actually really enjoyed the classics that I read. I had been putting them off for so many years, and I have absolutely fallen in love with some of the authors and books that I've read. So I definitely want to continue that. And I have a huge list. So I'm definitely going to stick to that list and read more classics for sure. 13 is to read more nonfiction. I feel like I do pigeonhole myself in a lot of fiction, and that isn't a bad thing, but I do feel like I want to know more about the world. From real world stories, that is. So that's why I think that I need to read more nonfiction, and that is something that I need to like make sure that I'm doing in every month or every quarter, just a few of them sprinkled here and there. So definitely to read more nonfiction. My number 14 is to read more Dalit fiction or non-fiction. I feel like I really need to know more about what is happening with the underserved in our community, and I feel like I really want to know more about the Dalit struggle and also their joy. I want to know about all of this. So I have so many books that I have bought right now, books that are just like on my mind that I want to read. And I just need to get to them. So it's one of my biggest resolutions to read more Dalit fiction and nonfiction. Number 15 is to read more LGBTQIA fiction, nonfiction, and this could, of course, be of an author who is LGBTQA, and like the book has nothing to do with LGBTQ themes, or that it is just LGBTQA themes. Hopefully, it should be own voices, so it's like a mixture of both. But I really do want to read more. I have been doing pretty well, I think, with regards to this, but I just want to be doing better, and I want to read more, and I have so many books that just sound absolutely amazing, so I just need to get to them. That's basically it. And then number 16 is to make sure that I read more non-binary, trans authors, and also women authors. I think I did pretty okay with regards to reading women authors in 2020, but I want to read more books by trans folks and by non-binary people. So yeah, that is definitely high up on the agenda. And then number 17 is to just read more translated fiction. I have always been a huge proponent. No, what is the word? person who pushes translated Indian literature, but I feel like I didn't read too much of it this year, or read as much as I liked, or would have liked this year. So I definitely want to read more, and I want to make sure that this is spread throughout the year as well, and not just during that one time where is my lit with Indian lit, which is basically in April. So look forward to that. But in April is when we read a lot of translated Indian books, and I actually have a video where I have recommended translated Indian books, so do check that out. But yeah, basically, other than that, I want to make sure that I read more translated Indian fiction and translated international fiction as well. So I think, in terms of, this is a number that I will put, I think I want to read 20% of translated Indian fiction and 10% of translated international fiction. And I want to be able to check on this every quarter at least, to make sure that I have fit this and make sure that I can stick to this through the year. Now, moving on to stuff that is not really about books in particular, but kind of to do with like me and like bookish stuff in general. And for that, the 18th one, I think, is it 18th? It's 18th, yes. We're on resolution 18. And 18th is to do more collaborations. I have a lot of great ideas, but I need other people's help to do this, and I want other people's perspective when I'm doing things. So I think is more collaborations. I think I've already started with my collaboration with Manya to read The Annihilation of Caste. So if you don't know what that is, I will link that up and down. But we are reading The Annihilation of Caste by B.R. Ambedkar in January. So join us for that. But yeah, just generally do more collabs with people, and get more voices in to talk about books and just rave about books, because that's what I love to do. 19 is to finally start my damn book club. I have been thinking about this for months, years, I don't even know. I have almost everything in place, but I need to start it. So 19 is to finally start my book club, and I think that will start in April, I think. Number 20 is personal, and I don't know why I'm telling you this, but I got to figure out a way to monetize this shit, because I spent a lot of effort on this and I don't get paid, but I want to get paid. So like, how do I get paid? I need to figure it out. So that is one thing that I need to figure out just generally, because I want to ideally be able to like make a living out of this if I could, and I don't know how to. So if you have any ideas, let me know. But yeah, that's basically what that is just one of the goals for the year. And the last goal is to start writing, because yeah, I used to write and now I don't at all, like absolutely nothing. So the only things I write are emails and text messages and Instagram captions and descriptions for this video. But yeah, that's literally all I write. And I used to write, and I used to be really fond of writing, and I wanted to be an author, but now I think that my writing is just shit. So I just need to practice, and do just keep at it. So I think that 2021 I want to start writing again, and I have no idea what I'm going to write, but I will write something. I will write out of my ass first. And as Neil Gaiman once said, and I don't know exactly what he said, but essentially I need to get the bad out of me, like the bad writing out of me, so that the good comes at some point of time. So yeah, that's what my last resolution is. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this was great for you, and that it maybe motivated you to also take on some of these resolutions. If that is so, again, please comment down below. I would love to hear from you. And yeah, hope you're doing well. I will see you in my next video. Bye.